Oh man, what's going on? It's your boy G Dot in the building. Too Lit Podcast, powered by the Ink. I got a special guest in here with me today. Hi. Her eyes are huge. She's like, oh my god, like you can introduce yourself. Relax. You could introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, my name's Shoshonna Imani.
Shoshonna Imani. Did I say the right? Shoshonna?
Shoshonna Imani.
Shoshonna Imani. Jesus, it just says fluent. This is all over that. That's cool, man. That's probably the most rolling off tongue name I've ever said it ever in my life. Even worse, I hate saying my own name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally said my name is Gary. Like my real name is
Your
Gary.
full name?
Gary Sheffield. That's my full name. But my first name, I used to hate telling people what my name was. It never flew out the tongue to me. I don't know why, but it was like, that's so different. I'm like, I know, but just call me G. Just leave it at that. We're just gonna run with that. All right. So, Shoshonna.
It's actually like funny because my name is like pretty much like a representation of like being multicultural.
Yeah.
Like my first name is Hebrew and my second name is my middle name is Swahili.
Oh,
so
snap.
My parents tried to like integrate both cultures kind of in there.
That's creative. That's actually pretty dope, man.
Yeah.
And they made it to where it wasn't. They didn't have to awkwardly say it. It literally flows off. That's pretty cool. I like that. So let's dig into some questions.
Okay.
I have a quick question. Just from you walking in, I try to get everybody vibes. What is the worst advice you ever received from a person?
I feel like probably the worst advice, just be yourself.
Really?
Yes.
That's usually the best advice, ain't it?
Just be yourself.
Really? Why was that the worst?
I think because I'm really dedicated right now to growth and change.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think you can love yourself in the process, but like I don't know, I see myself as like a butterfly, you know? So
Right.
if that makes sense. So I just feel like it's important to know who you are. Like there's a difference between like knowing who you are and then just being like passive, you know, like I'm like this is me. Yeah, like it or love it. Yeah, like it or love it. Like it is what it is.
Okay. So got you. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
You was like, be yourself. I'm like, ain't that usually the go-to when nobody have nothing to say? They be like, yeah, just be yourself, you'll be fine. I'm like, no, I suck. Like I'm not finna do that in an interview, bro. Like don't sit up here and tell me be myself. But that's funny though. But I understand what you come from, you know, explaining it that way. Cause sometimes you don't want to hear that. You just be like, hey, give me something else, man. Mm-hmm. I'm not here. I'm hurting. So another question too. We're gonna jump on some, like I said, different topics. What scares you about America? Right now in the state that we're in, you know what kind of state that we're in. But what about it scares you?
I think what scares me right now is I feel like now there's like a huge political divide, like more than ever. I've like in my 25 years of living, I don't think I've ever felt such a divide between the political opinions.
It almost feels like Chris and Blood. Like it's you either with them or you with them. It's almost like a gang affiliation. It's like because it's so much hatred behind it.
Yeah.
It's not just let's keep it political. It's just like yo, who you with? You a right winger, you a left winger. It's instant beef, and it's like y'all calm down. We all need a stimulus check. So why you coming for us right now? We trying to agree to the same thing. Why you doing it? So I get what you're saying because I personally work with a lot of people who they hold those titles of the politicians and stuff like that. The left wing, the right wing is what else they call them? All that stuff. Like they hold on to them titles and they'll put it on you so bad to the point it's like, bro, we're both American. Mm-hmm. We're both trying to work, take care of our families. Stop this. And I feel like social media and stuff like that kind of helps the divide too. So yeah, it can get kind of scary if you let it devour you.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. Damn, political divide. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that. So that's cool. We're gonna move on.
Yeah. Well, I think so. One of my really like amazing black professors that I had, he gave us this advice when Trump became president, and he said, instead of us all sitting around like complaining about this, like, you know, inauguration, like, why don't you go out there and talk to the people that voted for him? Because it doesn't help if you're just surrounding yourself with people with the same opinions as you. Like, understand why they vote for him. What did they see in him? Because, you know, it wasn't just like the middle white America. Like, ask your fellow like people in the black community, you know, like
some that did that voted for him too. So yeah, I'm just
yeah. And just recently I was at Sankofa. It's like a black owned vegan restaurant in Dallas, and I think it was like voting day or something. Like, it wasn't voting day, we were like approaching that time, and so
like last year, like October, November.
Yes. And so someone was wearing this like Black Wall Street shirt there, and I was like, what is Black Wall Street? He started explaining to me what it was, and like, yes.
Yeah. People do not like this story, but it's the truth. Yeah, I'm sorry, continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. And so then
how did you feel about that? Did he explain what happened on Black Wall Street, like the story?
He went into it a little bit, but like I don't fully understand what it is. I understand that it's like a street of like black owned, like really successful businesses.
Right. And yeah, that's what it was. And basically, black people started to get more organized. Mm-hmm. We started to actually get more of I'm gonna say open hands in certain situations, because all of that money too. We started making our own money, getting our own banks, and other people didn't like that. So what they did was took matters into their own hand and came and burned and killed it. Pretty much, they just depleted the entire area. They didn't care who was involved.
There were riots over there?
It was worse than a riot. It was just, I'm just saying, white people came and they were racist. White people that didn't like that blacks were seceding and doing what they were doing, creating their own capital, creating their own business, because they seen them expanding. Mm-hmm. They didn't want them to expand over to the point where they felt like they were going to get taken over, whatever the case may be.
Right.
They had
it's that fear.
That's it. And even though they've been running the United States for God knows how long, just that little bit that we had, they seen the progression, and they came and burned and killed all of them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was Black Wall Street. And like I said, and so it's amazing a lot of people don't know just that little bit of history of why some people from that area, and that happened not too long ago.
Thank you. And I just went to like the African American Museum here in Dallas, and there was so many exhibitions about slavery, and like I was like, that's only a little part of black history. Like, there's so much more to black history than slavery.
Very true. Very true. They want to highlight that. It's a lot of successes. It's a lot of inventors that didn't even get the credit. Like, a lot of inventors, like stuff like lights and stuff like that. It was a lot of people that created or found it or got up with this technology, got the formula for it, but it was taken by somebody else and they got the credit for it. Because back then, if you were of color, you was not about to get credit for being anything. You have to dig deep into your history book to be like, damn, they made that, until you start doing your research and you be like, I never knew. Yeah. I never knew, because in school, they don't teach us that in school.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So it's designed that way, sadly.
And I can tell you, like, I went to a very private Jewish school growing up, so like my knowledge of blackness was either from my family, and then at school, like reading that black history, I think it kind of pushed me away from like that black identity. Like, I did not want to be associated with I didn't want to be associated with my blackness. Like, really? I was completely in denial. Like, wow. Yes. Wow,
man. I mean, that history is powerful. It's powerful stuff, man. But sometimes you gotta understand that sometimes it's something good to embrace, because we overcame a lot, and we're still fighting, as you can see to this day. Mm-hmm. All last year was just terrible. But you see, even in 2021, we're still fighting to be equal. And we're not. We're never going to be seen that way. And it's sad, but that's just what it is. people don't want us to be on the same level with them, and that's the fight. That's what people march in the streets for. That's what people do all this stuff for. So that's what's going on is going to be added more to history 20, 30 years down the line when your kids or grandkids or whatever, they're going to be like, damn, y'all went through that. Like, you'll see what our parents went through, or our grandparents went through. Like, yeah, it's just changing, man. History repeats itself sometimes in the weirdest way. But yeah, we're still fighting, for them little qualities to this day. So, but, the fact that you curious about it and even want to look it up or know, hey, continue to research, man. You'll be enlightened on a lot of other things too. That even I'm still finding out. You know what I mean? So it's a lot to be educated on. There's nothing wrong with that, man. It's a difference when you know that Black history have Black history and you don't want to know about it and you wonder why people hate each other or wonder why we're being hated on. But if you don't take the time to be like, well, why do they feel like this? And look into it and be like, oh damn, I didn't know it was that bad. And that's why I got a lot of white friends and Caucasian friends. They came to me and was like, bro, the Black Wall Street thing, same, but you just had the same result. They knew nothing about it. Never heard about it until they seen a documentary on it and was like, that shit was fucked up. I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, way fucked up. They gave no fucks. Killed kids, children, babies, everybody. Like, they didn't care. That's devilish type shit. You know what I'm saying? But again, they start to feel bad because they feel like it's more so their ancestors in a weird way. They feel this weird guilt. And some people don't know how to handle that. Some people I have had people come to me before and literally apologize. And like I was in it, you know what I mean? But they just didn't know when you find out about this stuff, they you don't know how people react to that. Some people, they revolt, they be like, nah, it wasn't that bad. Y'all wasn't a part of that. And they just overlook it and just give us the middle finger. It happens. This is America, but yeah, this is just what we dealing with. So.
Yeah, but I still feel like now, it's so important to know where you came from, because like maybe right now your family is in Dallas, but before that you guys might have had a whole legacy in, I don't know, Alabama, like right. So just I've been really tracing back like my family in Tennessee and seeing what kind of like things they built and overcame, and like it's so powerful to know like where you really came from, Yeah.
I deep rooted Indian backgrounds. My
really? Redbone.
And I had to find that out later. But that's something I didn't find out till I was in my 20s. And I was like, that's so cool. I got to look deeper into this and understand where that's coming from. So when I look deeper into it and understand why I used to always, as a kid, talk about why her hair was so long, I'm like, I get it now. But as a kid, I never understood. I used to always mess with her hair because her hair was long and black. And she was a beautiful woman. But yeah, that's my grandmother. My grandmother, yes, and she the one who taught me how to pray and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a long, deep rooted situation with that. But yeah, and the more after she passed away, and I looked deeper into that, and I started talking to other family members, that's where it came from. I get it now. I'm like, I'm such an idiot, but it happens that way, man. You got to look into your history. We're gonna move on. How important is it to understand your love language? Yourself, not just for someone else that you're dealing with, a spouse or boyfriend or husband or whatever. For you, how important is it to understand your love language before you get involved with someone? Do you know your love language?
My love, because love, when you say that, I'm thinking your love language with yourself, within yourself, like how you treat yourself, or your love language with others, like how you
let's just say both because it's still on the fine line of the same thing almost, because you have to know that sometimes you need the physical touch of a person. So that's a love language for somebody. Like, they don't feel like you love them if you don't actually reach out and grab their hand or touch their lips, something like that. Or if you don't hear, hey babe, I love you, I love you, I love you. If you don't hear that from somebody, that's a vocal love language. Affirmation, words of affirmation, things like that. Do you know what kind of person you are with that situation? Do you know that it's you the person I need to hear it? I need you to say it to me every day that you love me every day, or as I'm not gonna believe you. Or do you want to physically feel that person with you there to be like, yes, this is what it feels like, this is what it's supposed to feel like?
I think it's really a culmination of all of them for me. I have to have like this balance of all of them.
That's good, though.
It can't be all talk,
You're right.
Your actions, because like, I don't know, my dad always taught me, like, he's very affirmative, like, you know, with me, like, he will sit there for hours, you know, just talking to me and everything, but he's always told me, like, watch someone's actions, and then you'll know how they really feel about you, you know?
True facts. And that's something, like I said, you over the course of time, I feel like you can't get that love language unless it starts in the household. So, like you said, with your parents, with your dad and stuff, you build your own love language in a weird way. Like, they help you develop that characteristic to understand how to receive it and give it to someone else. You know what I mean? So, that's, I feel you with it being a mixture, because I feel like it's kind of with me too, but I am a very physical person. I have to reach out. I'm going to hug you or kiss you. You're going to feel me one way or another. I don't care if you're mad at me or not. You're going to feel me. So, of course, I'm a person, I say it too, but for the most part, I can tell, like, even when I'm driving in the car, if, like, my girlfriend is sitting there, I'm holding her knee, or I'm holding her hand or something. So she know, like, hey, I'm here. Even if that's little small sort of stuff, is like the small changes, you know what I'm saying? But that helps me, because you don't know what kind of day somebody's having. So that little stuff changes the aspect of this life period, man, for me. So that's important. Understand your love language. Read a book, listen to it. God, if you don't read, I mean, Jesus, it's really important. So, another question: what turns you off about a guy? What make you go that way instead of toward him? Like, yeah, because I know you probably came across that and was like, yeah, no, that wasn't it. Do it too conceited, too confident, or he just full of
definitely can't deal with a huge ego, you know? I can't deal with a huge ego. Like, I definitely, like, if it came down to choosing a guy with, like, a flashy car, but, like, is gonna disrespect me, you know, and, like, and not really listen to me, versus a guy with, like, maybe a less nice vehicle, but he actually listens and, like, you know, cares about what I have to say, then I'm sold.
But so if y'all driving that Pinto,
but if you can get both, now if you got both, no, I'm just teasing. But like then I'm like, okay,
cool.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's cool.
But
that's cool. I mean, you know, you again another thing where reading people early. You know what I mean? Following, like, paying attention to what they're saying. First dates. Then the first dates go wrong for you. You be like, yeah, I can see what kind of person you are right now. This is not gonna work. This is never gonna work. So enjoy that food. But we're about to go. Now you'll never see me again. So
the meal.
Yeah. Peace out. We'll move on from that. So man, awesome. So yeah, that is so crazy. Your name. Say that one more time for me.
Shoshonna.
Shoshonna. You have a nickname?
Shamani.
Damn. She got more names than I do.
What is your nickname?
My nickname G.5. What you call me? Some other crap that I don't answer to? Everything you think of, and that's just with friends. Not my family call me some other crap. I can't even say on the mic. So so we'll keep that there. But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Shoshonna, that's cool. Okay. So anyway, man, look, we in here, we chilling, we vibing, the Ink crew. Y'all see this expensive bottle still behind us. We ain't sipped it yet. I'm afraid to, because it's just a little too expensive. But we finna get out of here, man. Two Lit Crew. The Ink, powered by the Ink, your boy G-Dot coming through with Miss Shoshonna. Yeah, she was smiling the whole time, man. Look at her. Y'all go follow her on social media. Check back with her, check back with us. Hey, this is where we at. Yeah.